As I sat by the fire with my grandchildren, I couldn't resist telling them a story from my youth. It was a story I had never shared before, one that still sent shivers down my spine. It was a dark and stormy night, just like tonight. I was alone in my cabin, with nothing but the sound of the rain tapping on my windows. Suddenly, I heard a knock on my door. I hesitated, wondering who could possibly be out in this weather. As I slowly opened the door, a figure stepped inside. It was a woman, soaked to the bone and trembling with fear. She told me that she had been lost in the woods for hours, chased by a mysterious creature that she couldn't describe. I didn't believe her at first, but then I heard a growling sound coming from outside. It was unlike anything I had ever heard before. I grabbed my lantern and stepped outside, determined to face whatever was out. But what I saw was beyond my wildest nightmares. There, in the shadows, was a monster with red eyes and razor-sharp teeth. It towered over me, and I knew that I was no match for it. I ran back inside, locking the door behind me. The woman and I huddled in fear, praying that the creature wouldn't break through. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, it was gone. To this day, I still don't know what that creature was or where it came from. But I know one thing for sure. It was real. And if any of you ever find yourself lost in the woods on a dark and stormy night, beware. You never know what horrors might be lurking in the shadows. The woman and I sat in silence for what seemed like hours, too terrified to move. The storm continued to rage outside, but it was nothing compared to the fear that had taken hold of us. Eventually, the woman fell asleep, but I stayed awake, listening for any sound that might signal the creature's return. As the night wore on, I began to question my own sanity. Had I really seen what I thought I had seen? But then, just before dawn, I heard the growling sound again. This time, it was coming from right outside the cabin. I held my breath, afraid to make a sound. But then, I heard something even more terrifying. A voice, whispering my name. I shook with fear, wondering who or what could possibly know my name out here in the middle of nowhere. And then, the whispering turned into a howling scream, and I knew that the creature had come back for me. I grabbed my lantern again, knowing that I couldn't stay hidden inside forever. I slowly opened the door, expecting the worst. But what I saw instead was even more unbelievable. The creature was gone, replaced by a figure that looked almost human. It was a woman, with wild hair and a ragged dress, her eyes glowing in the darkness. She spoke to me in a language that I didn't understand, but I knew that she was trying to warn me of something. And then, just like that, she disappeared, leaving me alone in the darkness once again. I never forgot that night, and I never went back to that cabin. But even now, as an old man, I can still hear that woman's voice in my dreams, and I know that the creature is still out there, waiting for its next victim.